clouds rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. Two enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Tinker Time, an FPL Pod, the show for every fantasy Premier League manager who's already second-guessing their latest draft. It's Monday, August 24th, 2026, and whether you're finally at peace with your Gameweek 1 draft or just here discussing differentials, you've come to the right place. I'm Matt, alongside Jim, and we're here to help you tweak, test, and yes, tinker your way to the top of your mini-league. We'll break down the best value picks, fixture trends, and hidden gems, so you don't have to stare at your squad screen in despair. So let's pop the hood, crack open the spreadsheet, and get tinkering. Jim, Gameweek 1 has concluded officially. How the hell are you?
After today's game, I'm great. It's great to be back. Waited all summer for this. Top half of the table. Couldn't have been a better first week for me. It could have been a better first week.
You have this twinkle, this little sparkle in your eye that I have not seen in a couple of years.
Yeah, usually I'm like 30 points back by now, so it's good to be on the other side of that. How was your week?
Well, it was a week. It didn't go great. João Pedro saved it from really being a bad week. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Gameweek 1 in the books. Teams are locked. I know you blew your team kind of last minute there.
Yeah.
We kind of rushed through the last episode. Try to keep it tight. Missed a few things, but I knew when you were talking, you were set on Morgan Gibbs-White. You kind of blew everything up trying to get him in.
Yeah. So when we were chatting at our last episode, really, we were talking about Morgan Gibbs-White. We were overlooking him. It was at that point I kind of made it my duty to really get him into my squad, find a way to get him in. I loved the value. I loved him as a differential. I loved the fixture. I mean, Leeds, not really any reason to be scared of that fixture. So I was able to get him in. And then I also decided that I was going to be kind of going against the grain and try to go with 3 premium forwards. So I did find a way to bring João Pedro back into the fold. So, net, bringing João Pedro in kind of saved my week to a certain extent, but the Gibbs-White gamble did not pay off.
And you did so at the expense of carrying no Arsenal players, which interesting strategy.
Yeah.
Obviously should we just jump into it? They opened up the game week Friday afternoon, dominating win 3-0 to Coventry. Goals from Havertz, Saka, and Odegaard. He's getting back on the score sheet after he needed a big season this year. I mean, this was just clinical. Coventry did not look ready. I know Awioni didn't play. Huddy Wright's still injured, so they didn't have, I don't think, all of their starters that they're probably going to go with, the guys they signed this summer. But this was just totally one-sided. They're going to have a tough season.
Yeah. I think I saw today they reached an agreement with Brentford to bring in Ethan Pinnock. So they'll be getting a little bit of reinforcement in the center back position. Not sure what that means for Thomas, who I think was a pretty popular 4 mil defender that a lot of managers had in their squads. But yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those ones, what do you really make of it? It's the reigning champions coming against a newly promoted team. Like you said, they really clearly just were not ready.
Yeah, I think the only takeaway really is that Solis, he was great on ball, and even more so, Calafiori. He was like right next to him the whole game. He was playing so high up. So I think he's the highest owned defender, or I know he's like top 5.
I think at the time of kickoff, he was hovering around like high 50s ownership. Like he was very, very highly owned.
Right now he's at 40%.
Okay, and I think he has had some sell off, believe it or not. I swear, I think he's come down a little bit. He's still very, very high. It's incredibly
Yeah.
high. But yeah, the gamble did not pay off.
Yeah. Yeah. So Arsenal defense, they hit big. Saka with a goal too. So no slump there after the World Cup. Galfiore and Sully's got the assists for those two. So great game. Kind of what we saw out of last year, Arsenal when they were at their best. Defense getting the clean sheet and bonus points. Although Gabriel got a yellow card, so he didn't get the full 6.
That was nice. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that. The only other thing here, I mean, I don't think we need to spend a ton of time talking about a 3-0 win because I don't think that, frankly, we learned anything new other than Solis. But they did introduce Konza at this game. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of conversation around him, priced at 4.5 mil as it currently stands. We'll take a look at his movement. You had actually said it last game week in our last episode, there might actually be a drop in price. You know, we could be looking at potentially a 4.4 mil Arsenal defender come game week 2 or 3, with Saliba potentially out till maybe late October, maybe early November, maybe even lingering into December. Who knows? If he's able to solidify that spot, do you grab him now? I mean, we don't know exactly when he's going to make his debut or when he's going to make an impact to that team, but you got to think they brought him in. I can't imagine Mosquera is going to stay in that first spot for too much longer. So who knows when that's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't even know if we might have just been texting about it, but my only thing was he was going to be so brought in on the deadline that if he doesn't get the starting spot for a couple of weeks, are people going to move off of him and go elsewhere to another cheap defender and load up on the Arsenal defense that they know is going to return? And really, maybe you don't want double defense if you have Zolis, and if Odegaard's going to be looking the way he did, you know, maybe you want 2 midfielders this year. So we'll see. I did not bring him in. I think I shipped him back out for California at the end there. So happy with that. Only one other interesting note I had. Did you listen to the broadcast of this one?
Most of it.
So we've been saying Van Uwijk as the Coventry 4 mil defender. The play-by-play guy was calling him Van Ivik. So we might have pronunciation controversy on our hands here.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess
keep an eye on that.
He's the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah. Really, yeah, nothing else from that game. Should we move on to the early Saturday fixture?
Oof.
Tasty.
Yeah.
That you were all bought in on.
I think, listen.
Don't tell me about your team. Tell me about the game.
Okay. So we're talking about Hull hosting United. Spoiler, Hull brought it to United. 2-0. First goal from Ajay off of kind of a broken play. Ball off a corner kind of fell to him, puts it in. They go up 1-0. And then ultimately Mendy puts in the second one in the 38th minute. Listen, these are a bunch of no names. No one is going to know who these players are game week 1. You might not even know who these players are game week 38. I mean, Hull was probably, I don't even know what the odds were, what the line was for United to win this game, but there was a very, very heavy line for United to not just win this game, but to win it handily. For United to not only lose, but to blank was very shocking to me.
Yeah.
And I brought in Bomo. I think almost everybody who, kind of had eyes coming off of his last season brought in Bruno Fernandes. I don't think you can really look at Mbomo or like a Luke Shaw or Bruno Fernandes or even a Harry Maguire. A lot of folks had him in as well, and really say that was a bad move or the wrong move against the Hull. It didn't work.
Just a bad week, yeah.
Yeah, just a bad week. And that's what I'm really kind of telling myself.
Yeah. I mean, as an owner of Bruno and Buemo, I'm not looking to sell you the opening week. Tough week. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, big win for Hull. 3 points to start the season. Two of their two center backs scored, but also both came off injured. So 3 of their back 5 that they started is flagged, including, I guess, plus Hughes, who was the other 4 mil owned defender that was really highly touted, but was injured to start the season. So that's like 4 of their starting or top defenses out potentially.
Not great.
So good that they got the 3 points, because it might be tough for them. Although next week they have Coventry at home or away, so maybe
is it? Yes, it's Coventry away. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes for them, but
we'll see how it goes. I mean, listen, I think the thing coming away from this game, that if you do want to maybe sweat a little bit, now I agree with you. I've got Mbomo on my team. I've got Bruno Fernandes. I'm not willing to sell them yet. That's the reason that I brought them in, was they had that whole Jesus Christ. What is their next fixture this week?
They're not playing Jesus Christ.
They're not playing Jesus Christ this week. Who are they playing this week? I'm totally blanking right now. Ipswich. Sorry. That's the whole reason I brought them in, was the beauty of their fixtures to start the run here. If you watch the game, for some reason, it seemed that Bruno Fernandes, assist aficionado from last season, was not nailed on corners. So we got to keep an eye on that, because if Bruno, for some reason, is not being deployed on every corner opportunity, and he's not necessarily being, extremely forward in the attack, now he becomes a very, very expensive player with fewer opportunities. I'd rather spend those funds on maybe somebody else who had a really strong day today that I'm sure we'll talk about as we get to the rest of the fixtures. So I'm putting that out there as something that kind of caught my eye.
We'll see. I mean, how many assists did he have off of corners last year? I mean, a lot of those were open play. So
we'll see.
We'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. All right, first game in the 10 a.m. slot, Everton hosting Palace with a 2-0 win. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall started opening the goals in the 42nd minute, followed by Barry, assisted by Ilham Ndiaye in the second half. Palace couldn't do anything. A little trouble over there, I think. Sarr rumored to be headed out now, as well as Munoz. So,
and Mateta.
Mateta did start this game, though. So yeah,
they gave away their BJ at the beginning of the season too.
I guess they're banking on Dwight O'Neal being their big summer signing.
Yeah, it's not a good day for Palace. Let's do it this way. Do you have anything positive to say about Palace?
No. Let's talk Everton.
I have one 4-second thing. Chris Richards, DEFCON. Think about it. That's it. That's all I got.
Is he 4.5?
That's why I think I'm going to check really quick.
Okay. While you're checking that, I have to do an update.
He's 5. He's 5 mil.
Might be a little pricey for.
Might be a little pricey.
We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
The preview episode, I was talking all about Beto, and how I thought he was a good 5.5 alternative to anybody else. Turns out Beto was not going to get the starting job, and Barry was. So I swapped, brought Barry in.
Barry Manilow.
And he returned there. So I think it's safe to say that he is going to be the starting job. So for 5.5, still, they're the same price. Yeah.
A couple of Bs. Who doesn't love a nice set of Bs? You got the A cup, the Bs, the C cup.
And then the D. That's the biggest.
Then the D. That's the biggest. Now listen, Everton. So you mentioned Dewsbury-Hall. Well, you mentioned Drewsbury-Hall. Still waiting to meet this guy.
Dewsbury. No R.
Dewsbury-Hall. Now, obviously, Dewsbury-Hall last season, very, very cost-effective FPL asset. Had the price increase this season. He is sitting at, I believe, 6.5 this season. So a little bit more expensive. Puts him at the same price, actually, as Actually, he's actually more expensive than Iliam and Jai, who's sitting at 6 mil.
He's
So
sick.
it's,
Interesting.
yeah.
That's
So
weird.
that's kind of an interesting price differential there.
Yeah.
You have Njai, who's as far as we know, is on penalties, right? Who also had a return, right? If you had to
Yeah.
pick between those two today, who do you think you would pick?
I would pick Njai
Right?
for the price savings. If they were the same price, probably KDH. But to save $500,000, I think it's probably worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Assuming he stays.
Which looks like he's going to. He wants to stay in the Prem, at least. So that's what they said.
We'll
But
see.
Yeah. So they looked good. Do you think that they're going to be pushing for Grealish? I don't know if we've mentioned that in any of our episodes.
I saw Grealish today. He got a few minutes under Maresca. I don't think so. I mean,
No.
so City just lost. I mean, we assume they're going to lose Fabinho. They're going to lose Marmouche. I just saw today that like they're maybe trying to hijack the Gakpo transfer, which that would just be brutal.
And then
unless they're bringing in.
They signed a winger from Brazil, I think. Allen, something like that.
I didn't see that, but I trust you.
It goes to Fabrizio.
So, I mean, unless they're bringing someone else in, I just think they really have depleted their attacking options very quickly. I mean, Oscar Bob left last season. It's basically Semenyo, Turkey outright. I guess.
Right. Well, we're not talking City right now.
Right. Fair. So I'll hold off on that. But nice clean win for Everton.
They started Tyreek George on the left, so I guess they're still not comfortable with BJ starting. George is only 20, so we'll see. But yeah, I think Barry and Di and KDH are going to be all probably cost-effective options if you're looking for somebody.
Did Tarkowski, he only had 9 DEFCON. Is that enough? Yeah, he got his 6 fantasy points for his clean sheet. He didn't get his DEFCON.
Need 10.
Tough to justify that price.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, move on to our next game in the 10 a.m. slot. Ipswich hosting Sunderland. Another upset here. 2-1 win for the newly promoted side. A goal from Emerson, assisted by Julio and Cisco. That's a name we haven't heard in a while. Then there was a gorgeous direct free kick from Nilsson Angula over at Sunderland. Did you see that one?
I actually didn't.
That was nice. But then Ipswich stole one back in the 90th minute. Jack Clark, former Spur, assisted by Sasa Vukic to steal the win in dramatic fashion. So yeah, big win for Ed Sheeran's boys. Tough for my Black Cats.
He played the fiddle with an Irish band, and he fell in love with an English man.
That's like your life story.
Kissed him on the lips, then he took him by the hand. He said, "Baby, I just want to dance."
Boy, did you have anybody
really?
from these teams?
I did, actually. So I had brought in Mr. Tri Hume, the 24-year-old right winger, who is 4.5 mil defender for Sunderland.
How'd he do?
Well, his spot mob rating was 7.1.
This is the one you brought up. He's playing very high up.
Yeah. So he's the Cuyper of this season. So I'm a season early, and that's a little bit of a teaser.
He's 4, you said?
4.5. There's not like a single 4 player that's useful this season.
Yet. Still early.
That's fair.
I think probably Lafitte is probably the most highly owned attacker out of this whole lineup here on both sides. For a blank for him, he got subbed out in the 80th minute. Yeah, I don't know. Really not much to talk about in this one.
I would still say disappointing from Sunderland. I mean, this is a team, European competition, like Ipswich newly promoted. Sunderland should be better than this.
True, but first game back from promotion, a lot of emotion there. Sunderland did the same thing last year. They won their home game to start the season, so I'm not going to read into it too much. I don't think Ipswich is going to continue to. I don't want to say. I don't
You know who else can't read?
It's you.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Leeds United, who were able to eke out the 1-0 victory over at the City Ground. Forest losing 1-0 to Leeds. I mean, a very familiar name from last season. Anton Stock with an absolute beauty from just outside the box.
That was nice. Oh, yeah.
Anton Stock priced at $6 million. I mean, I don't think we talked about him at all.
Preseason, you mean?
Preseason, even like towards the tail end of last season, as far as, players that just really exceeded expectations, really just excelled throughout the season, outperformed. He was a player that it was just a very consistent returner, and he just, he kind of just went under the radar in a lot of ways. And here he is again,
So last year he started 5. He ended at 4-8. I think there was an injury at the end, right? Regardless.
He had a couple weeks, where he's injured.
So $1 million price rise is a lot for him, though. Like, you really got to be getting Leeds to do well consistently if you're going to be doing that.
But is that inconsistent with a lot of the players who achieved DEFCON in their price rises?
No, you're right. It is consistent, but I'm still saying that's a lot to pay for him now.
Yeah.
Would you rather him or Elliot Anderson for 6?
Oof. Well, to be fair, I mean, if Stock's going to give you DEFCON like that and a chance for a goal contribution, I take Stock.
How many goals did he have last year? Let's look.
He probably had at least 4 or 5.
5.
How many did Elliot have?
4. One extra assist, so I had 2 extra assists.
Okay. He did have a goal contribution then. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing in either for 6, but.
Wait. Elliot Anderson is 6.5.
Oh.
More expensive.
I said correct.
Well, it's okay.
All right. DCL blanks. I think he's the only other asset people have. Maybe.
I had a player in this game.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about this one.
Mr. Muharemovic, the Bosnia-Herzegovinian 23-year-old center back.
You brought this one in. We didn't talk about him. You did that after.
Oh, I'm sorry. My throat is so dry. Going through a little dry spell here. I mowed the lawn today, and I didn't wear any sort of, face guard.
That late summer
dry.
pollen.
Yeah, it's awful. It's very dry pollen.
We have to call
No,
that.
he definitely. Who are we talking about? Muharemovic. So
Say it again.
he's a player. Muharemovic. I think I got that.
Nice.
Thank you, Tariq. He's a player that. So a couple things. One, I think he had a very nice preseason goal. That was a little bit of hubbub. I think he had a little bit of a bicycle kick. He's a pest on corners. He's going to get up there. He's going to be in the box. So I think he brings that aspect to his game where someone like a Joe Rodon, yes, he did have a couple of goals last season, but I think Muharemovic, I think he has a little bit more in his game. He also has the DEFCON piece that he's going to be consistent with that. I know he didn't get it this week, but hey, what are you going to do? So he's a player that I think, as far as someone I would consider keeping in my squad, I don't have any plans to move him out right away. And, you try to find some players that kind of go against the template. So, took a shot. He actually worked out.
There you go. So he's 5, right? And Rodon's still 4.5. So a little bit of an upgrade for you, but we'll see how it goes.
So it's 7 DEFCON. 7 DEFCON, yeah. 6 line breaking passes, 5 passes into the final third. You like that?
It's always good.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see.
All right, let's get this one over with. Rounding out the Saturday slate, Brentford hosted Tottenham. Pretty comprehensive 3-0 win. Early goal by Lewis Potter, assisted by Mamadou Sangare. And then a Vitaly Yanelt goal also in the first half. a Michael Coyote goal right after halftime, and then an Igor Thiago penalty that was actually missed in the 55th minute. Really one-sided match here. Brentford looked good. Tough for Thiago, though. Coming off a summer where we were calling him a pen merchant, misses his first attempt there.
Well, maybe that's the whole thing, though. He doesn't want to be known as a pen merchant, so he missed on purpose, right? He wants
breaking the storylines.
Exactly. He's trying, like, the
Be
rest
the
is still
change you want to
unwritten.
be in the world.
Exactly. Yes. He is the world. He is the children. Yes.
Nice.
No, I mean, I think you hit it on the head, right? Like Thiago missing. I feel like what was Thiago's ownership going into this week? Because I don't remember seeing like a lot of manager. Yeah, I mean, he was actually owned by 17% of managers.
Yeah, because he's the only other like premium. If you don't have João Pedro.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe just in the leagues that you and I are in, it was a lot of Holland, João Pedro. You didn't see a lot of folks going that extra $500,000 from João Pedro up to Thiago. It's just like, why would you go? I mean, João Pedro was in phenomenal form, so it just kind of didn't make sense. So, okay, whatever, no big deal. But I think on Brentford side, let's talk about them, right? So we saw a lot of managers with Ayer, who's in the back line, center back. Got his clean sheet. Did he get his DEFCON too? I need to double check that. Yes, he did get his DEFCON, so he got his 8 fantasy points. So, if you're paying attention to any other FPL influencers, first off, screw you. Pay attention to us instead. Second, nice. Good for you.
Influencers. We're enthusiasts.
So right. Damn it, I don't even know who we are. I gotta watch us.
We are the world.
We are the world. We're gonna get copyrighted. Okay.
That would be good.
Second, any publicity is good. Second, so there's a name on Brentford who maybe you have picked up on. He was on a lot of folks' radar. Someone who would likely become very popular, and also easy to confuse, and that is Mr. Sangare. And we're not talking Ibrahim, who is on Forest. We're talking Mamadou, and that's not racist. It's just, maybe it should be a little bit more difficult to accidentally choose the wrong person. So Mamadou had an assist.
You narrated that one delicately.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
So in 76 minutes, he had an assist. He also had the clean sheet. He had 13 DEFCON. So all in all, he had 11 fantasy points, and he got the 3 bonus points. That's a massive haul on his Brentford debut. He's only been with them, I think, for maybe a couple of weeks. So he's still like very new to the team, very new to the squad.
$50 million transfer.
Yeah. Now I believe he's priced at $5.5 million, right? So, I mean, if you're talking about players that you can bring in that kind of unlock your squad, right? Think about a Pascal Gross, right? I mean, he was one of those players that everyone was targeting. Think about an Elian Njai, right? A Dewsbury Hall, right? Here's a player that you want, a $5.5 million player that you can slot in, who's going to play. He's going to be involved in the attack. He's going to get DEFCON. This is one of those players that is not going to be a secret for much longer. The rest of the case.
If I could figure out how to see the price changes in the app, I would be curious.
So
but I can't.
I'm on the website right now, and the way that you do it is when you're on the transfer page.
Yeah.
On kind of like the right hand side, you'll see a drop down, like where your free transfers are. You'll see a drop down where it says opponent, and you click that little drop down, and all the way at the bottom, it says price change.
Yeah, they don't have that in the app. That's why I don't understand. The app is different than the website.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's brutal.
All right. Just quickly on the Tottenham side. It looks bad coming off of everything that happened the last 2 years, finishing in 17th. But if you look at this squad in the context of just this game, I don't think we really expected to do much better than Brentford. I mean, Mikey Moore has started how many games for us?
He's already on loan. I mean,
3.
come on.
Like,
yeah,
to start him, Bergvall, and Gray after rumors of selling 2 of those 3 all summer. Gallagher was a kind of a question mark if he was going to stay. Tell's not good enough, so he's going to get replaced. Richie's more of a super sub. It's like, do we really expect to do well with this lineup, which is arguably worse than anybody we put out there last year? It's like we don't even have Pedro Porro starting. So tough lineup. I think it's gonna get better once we can get everybody back in there. Fernandez is supposed to be back maybe this week or soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Throw me again.
You're spot on, Jimbo. Like the bright spot for Spurs is this is not the Spurs team. So, watch it, right? Throw it away. I mean, Senesi had 16 defensive contributions, right? And they still let in 3 goals. I mean, how can you expect Senesi and Van Heck to have a solid game in that back line, to have a solid game when your midfield in Gallagher, Bergvall, Archie Gray, like they're not your A team. Like even Tonali had a bad game because he's basically a one-man midfielder out there.
Yeah.
So, you just forget it.
Yeah. The first goal was not on either of the center backs. It was all on Gray. So it's like
100%.
Come on. Yeah. Tough start, but we're getting better. Gonna get better.
We're getting better. We're getting better. You know who was pretty
really
good?
Needs to get better.
Yeah.
You could look at it either way.
Yeah.
Who really needs to get better? Villa. So starting off the Sunday slate, Brighton, absolute spanking of Villa. 4-0 win. Villa with a red card. Some big points in this game for FPL, and not by players that were super highly owned. So first one was Lindelof own goal, followed by a Maxime de Cuyper goal, and then a Jack Hinchelwood goal, assisted by Diego Gomez, and then a Jack Hinchelwood goal in the 31st minute. So 4 goals in the first half, followed by a red card for Villa, and then it's kind of a slog in the second half.
It could have been more. Should have been more.
Yeah. Opening week,
Bizzo had a few nice saves.
So who do you want to talk first?
All right. So I'm going to start with Villa because we're going to get it out of the way.
Go for it.
George Hemmings. We said it in the last episode. 4.5 mil. Started out on the left. Right now, he's their best option. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to bring him in. I have no confidence in Villa right now. I mean, that was a raw dogged, no lube, total spanking, right? But we want players with minutes. So George Hemmings, the only player in FPL to ever have his full name in the game. I don't know why. It's George Hemmings. That's what his name is in FPL. I don't know why. Take a flyer on him. Why not? That's really, I don't know if Marco Bizzo is going to be the keeper. Like we said, they brought in Suzuki. Maybe next week they switch it up. Emi Buendia playing in and the number 9. Who knows? John McGinn had a couple shots. I don't even want to talk about that. I'm done. I'm done with Villa. Awful. Move on. Brighton is all yours.
So yeah, Brighton. I don't know. Jack Hinchelwood, owned by, I think I just looked up, he's like 1%, 1.4%. $6 million. He started the number 10. I don't know. I don't want to overreact on Brighton here because Villa were so bad and really kind of in shambles. So yeah, great for him. Big haul, but he's played enough games in the Prem that I don't think we really expect him to continue this form. I don't think he's gonna, take a huge step in his performance. That he's going to be a great value at $6 million there.
I would agree. But,
yeah, good for that. The one I think we should keep in mind is de Cuyper, because this game is what we were hoping for last year, and it never happened. I forget what he ended at last year, but
Probably 4-4. It was
yeah,
it was not great. It was not great. Do you
yeah,
I
benched
mean,
for a while.
do you think that do you think he holds this position when Matoma comes back?
If he continues to look like that, yeah. I mean, Matoma didn't leave on a great note last year. I think he had a couple late goals, but like the majority of the season, he wasn't good. He was a shell
Yeah.
of what he was, in the years past. So I think I guess it's his to lose, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not making any moves on Brighton. We said it last year. They're the team that's going to go out and have a great win, and then the next week they're going to lose to Ipswich. And
Right.
climbing them has always been impossible. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Maybe with some more time, and we'll see how these guys continue to develop. But
Yeah.
I'm not making any moves for him.
I was happy Mr. Gomez got an assist. He actually had a really nice shot that Bezos saved. So I almost gotten a goal also from Gomez, which would have been really nice. He's the 5 mil price. He started on the right wing there for Brighton. So I almost got into some of that to Cuyper fund just on the other side of the field. But, hey, you can't win them all. So, yeah.
He was the one that didn't he have like a hat trick? I mean, he had a hat trick in like the FA Cup, and we're like, oh, this guy's somebody to keep an eye on. And then
Maybe.
he had 5 goals in the FL Cup. I think that's what it was.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
that might be right.
Anyway, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Brighton. Still a
Yeah.
comprehensive win against a Villa side that's lost a lot of players, but still you would assume a stout opponent. But we'll see.
Yeah. Nice clean sheet for Verbruggen owners. Disappointing game for Gross owners.
Yeah, did he get defensive contributions?
Let's see. At 96 touches, he only had 5 DEFCON. So no, pure blank.
Oof.
Pure
Yeah, he
blank.
started the year at just went away 13% owned, so pretty high.
Yeah. Yeah. And our boy, Luka Vuskovic, making his Prem debut at 19 with a clean sheet. Only 4 DEFCON, though. But
I mean, Villa weren't really attacking in half the game, so
you have to root for him because we have that sell-on clause. So hopefully he gets sold for $200 million.
That $200 million man.
Boy. All right. Let's keep it going. So we got City, who came from behind to beat Bournemouth 2-1. Tavernier put one pass in the 26th minute. Kind of caught him sleeping a little bit before Gahey took one back off a free header, basically the 4th. And then Guardiola finally sealed the deal off of a somewhat questionable offside, but then VAR reviewed a very unquestionable offside goal in the 91st minute for City to take the 3 points and give Maresca his first win as City manager. Jimbo, what stood out for you with this game?
Well, I think that obviously the big headline is Haaland's hair. Right, he buzzed it.
The big hairline is Haaland's hair.
After a summer of playing in the American heat with all that hair, he had enough. But either way, he blanked, which obviously is a lot of people upset about.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, yeah. So he's owned by almost 69%. So
nice.
Him and Bruno both blanking. That's a significant amount of money that went unrewarded there. If you had both of them. As a Foden owner, I was looking out to see how he did. He didn't look great. And he got subbed out. And when Turkey came on, Turkey looked so much better than him. So, personally, I'm a little worried that he might lose his spot if he gets another matchup like that. But, I don't know. Game 1 under Maresca. Haaland coming off World Cup. If he gets an early goal, maybe this game plays out differently. Maybe, they open up the floodgates. But City I want more time in them. But Foden is on my watch list here.
Yeah.
Did you watch? I didn't get to watch it. I only saw the highlights. But I don't know how they actually set up because Bob had him as Gahey and O'Reilly is more like a central midfield role. Do you know how that actually played out, or did you just catch the highlights?
I figured they went back 3 with Gahey, Diaz, Guzanov, and then I figured Guardiola and Lewis were kind of a little bit higher up with Anderson being kind of that central point. But then I was seeing like reports of O'Reilly kind of being more of a 10. So I didn't fully pick up on it myself. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Maresca's doing just yet. We talked about it last season. Like, didn't O'Reilly come up like through the academy as a striker? So like, I don't think he's uncomfortable playing in the box or like on the outside of the field. So it wouldn't totally surprise me if that's and Maresca was probably around because he was on Pep's staff. He probably was around when O'Reilly was coming up to the academy. So maybe there's like some familiarity there with like, hey, I remember you when you were, when you were playing in the 10 or, playing as like a false 9 or something like that. So I don't know. We're going to find out though.
Yeah, it'll be one to watch because he's $1 million more than Vardiol. But if he's playing that far up, it might be worth the investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. One to watch, see how they line up, and Foden on a short leash for me because I think Turkey's nipping at his heels trying to get that spot. But
yeah, I would say if you're a Holland owner, don't panic sell. I mean, he had a few, I think, just eye tests. He just looks a little rusty. I mean, he had a very, I don't know, say easy tap in that I think if he's in prime Holland form, he'll connect. That goes in the back of the net. I could probably think of 2 or 3 other times during that game where like if Holland's being Holland, he's putting at least 2, maybe 3 of those away. So you got to feel good about kind of what you saw out there or what you think you will see moving forward. It just happens. Blanks happen. It happens.
Plus he's Palace and Coventry in his next 2 games, so I think he'll be just all right.
Yeah. Anything on the Bournemouth side?
No, just more rumors. Alex Scott maybe leaving. Would be a big loss.
To be very honest, until Krupi comes back, I don't think there's much. I mean, obviously he's going to be out for a couple months, but I don't know. I think once Krupi comes back, the way they play maybe changes a little bit, or they line up a little bit differently. So
you had Tavernier not too long ago.
I had Tavernier as a like a last piece on my bench when I was thinking about a Gameweek 1 bench boost.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice.
Speaking of would have been nice, Newcastle hosting Liverpool to round out the Sunday fixtures. 2-2 slugfest. So Anthony Alenga opened up the scoring in the 5th minute, followed by a Cody Akpo assisted by Ryan Gravenberg in the 55th. Then Joe Willock assisted by Yona Wissa back on the score sheet before Liverpool steal one back in the 90th, +9, and Adam Szoboszlai penalty. That was a tough one there. Newcastle were hoping to get a home win to start it out under their new manager, but it was pretty clear penalty at the end there. So yeah, I don't know who do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with Newcastle. Alenga finally scored his goal, kind of justifying that price tag. I don't know. I mean, I don't even recognize this Newcastle team, to be very honest. They feel depleted. I don't even know who their manager is, to be very honest with you.
He's the halal guy, right?
I love the halal guys. Yankee Stadium, their food's so good. Crushing blow for them. They probably needed this win more than anybody. It doesn't matter. Hopefully Newcastle just kind of ride off into the sunset and, we don't have anything really to talk about them. The reality is they have a pretty nice fixture run over the next maybe 7 or 8 game weeks. So you might, I'm not saying load up on them, but if this ends up being, your nailed 90 penalty taker. And he's, I think, what, 6 or 7 mil?
6 mil.
Yeah.
On by 2%.
I mean, owned by 2%. We know that when he's healthy, we know what he's capable of because we saw it at Brentford. Last season was the anomaly. He wasn't healthy. He probably, he had a little bit of a weird off season trying to force his way out. It was messy. Now he's here, right? He's the guy. Voltemade clearly is not the first choice. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to learn a lot about Newcastle. I think I just saw today Nico Gonzalez. Here we go from Fabrizio coming over from City.
Yeah, I did see that.
I mean, we assume he's going to kind of take the Bruno Guimaraes role.
Yep. Or the Tonali goal. They need to fill both of them.
Or the Tonali goal. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. At Newcastle, I would say Vissa was the one that really caught my eye. I mean, he looks fast. He looked back to his old self. I don't know. They played with Asula up top, so it was still like, do they not trust him as the 9, or do they just not have a 10 that they're confident in? So I'll keep an eye on him for 6 mil. He's going to be an easy one they could bring in later in the season. I might be bringing him in for Alexander Isak on the other side. So Liverpool with 2 goals. Gakpo, kind of a classic goal that we've seen from him on the counter. But the unbelievable goal was the penalty in the 90th minute. Isak, him not fighting to take that penalty off Szoboszlai and bury it as a fuck you to Newcastle on his return there to steal a point back. It's unbelievable. He is somebody the expectations are so high, and for him not to, show the fight to do it in that one circumstance. I don't care if it's not all season, if he's not on a pens, but to not start the season off with that at Newcastle, it's gross.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I have a theory. Szoboszlai's penalty, it was very to me, it resembled Voltemade's penalty from last season.
Okay, I like this one. I like what is
so now I'm just thinking that it's something about that goal. Maybe there's there's some magnets or something in the ball and in that goal. So now Voltemade's penalty is not as impressive. And I'm still mad at Szoboszlai for taking that penalty because I really needed Isak to take the penalty. So I'm pissed at everyone.
But after Voltemade scored that, he went ice cold for about a year.
Yeah, because there were magnets in the ball.
Yeah.
He couldn't score a goal if he tried.
Hopefully the same thing happens there, and then Isak is back on top. But yeah, really disappointing from him and for Hurts.
Yeah, I saw something that said that Iraola has shown in the past that he's not afraid to take off his number 10s early, sub them. Verts is no exception to that. Yeah, I mean, my situation, I basically moved from Verts to Gibbs White. So seeing that, Gibbs White came off with a little bit of a knock, didn't feel great. But seeing Verts come off just because of tactics in a game that they were down at the time would have felt much worse.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just trying to make myself feel better about myself.
Yeah, we'll see. They played in Ngomba out on the right.
Rio. Let's just call him Rio.
But I don't think he's not going to be that's not going to be his spot, right? Didn't they bring in that other winger?
I think right now they're trying to bring in Bradley Barcola.
Yeah.
He's the one that's holding up the Gakpo move.
They brought in Victor Munoz. Oh, I guess he's a left winger. But maybe not.
A left swinger? Oh, so he's him and his wife?
This kid looks like he's 16, so I don't think he's a wife. He's 23.
Weren't you married when you were 23?
Pretty much. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Yeah. If Gakpo leaves, they might be in trouble. Unless they bring in Barcola. But
they need to play some defense. That's their issue.
Yeah.
Just really quick. I don't want to talk about their defense because the reality is you're bringing in Van Dijk. I mean, you had Kirkes for a little bit. We can disagree on that for days. But on the topic of the penalty takers, so you and I were both pretty confident it was going to be Isak, assuming he was healthy, which we believe he is.
Yeah, played the whole game.
Iraola, I believe, had a comment post match, basically saying, "Yeah, it could be Isak, it could be Szoboszlai. We like the way McAllister takes penalties as well."
He has taken them in the past. Yeah,
So, I mean, to me, some of that is probably some gamesmanship, right? He's trying to not give away to the other teams who is going to be his penalty taker. He probably knows who his penalty taker is, though. It's probably Dom.
yeah. It's one of those things. What is it? If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback.
You have two balls, you have no balls.
We'll see. I think Iraola needs to figure out Verts and Isak, regardless of penalties. Otherwise, Liverpool's going to have a tough season.
Hope so.
All right, moving on to our final game of the week. Fulham hosting Chelsea. A lot of goals here. A lot of feminitas. So Fulham 2, Chelsea 3. Possibly going to be the fastest goal of the season. João Pedro opened it up in like the 42nd, assisted by Cole Palmer. Canceled out there by a Josh King goal, assisted by Timothy Castagna. Then Morgan Rogers gets his first goal as a blue, assisted by another new boy, Maxime Papamoose-Lacroix. Second half, Palmer opened it up with another goal, assisted by João Pedro in the 49th minute, before Fulham then scored their own second goal by Gonzalo Garcia, their new striker that they signed. And then that was it. So big return for Palmer. Goal and assist, and Rogers returns as well. So, and João Pedro obviously the goal and assist. So great for anybody who had Chelsea assets there, apart from their defense. I know you had. Did you, or was it some of the other guys in our league had that other Chelsea defender that I didn't get in on before the kickoff, but he was injured.
Palestra,
Something like that.
I did not have him. No, I just had João Pedro. Palmer was a player we talked about too. Like as a player, kind of. It's crazy to say he's priced at what 9.5. That he's going quote under the radar because he is a premium midfielder. But just based off his season last season,
he's only owned by 11%.
Right. Relatively low compared to the Brunos of the world, the Mbomos of the world. He's healthy. He looks explosive. He looks confident. He looks free. He looks comfortable. He looks like Xavi trusts him. I mean, he looks energized.
His hair doesn't look as stupid as it has in years past.
That's probably the most important thing.
Look good, play good.
Look good, play good. Yeah, I think you're going to see. I mean, I said it last season. Cole Palmer, maybe that 300-point season. Maybe we were just a little bit early, by a whole year. I had that Josh King take last season. Here's his goal today. We talked about, I don't know. We have a lot of takes that are usually just a little bit early. Better to be early than late, right?
Never wrong, just early.
João Pedro scoring before you could say happy birthday to our friend Joe. Joe, happy birthday, you old fuck.
70 points out of him. Great start to the season.
That's a nice birthday present. Sitting at the top of the table after Gameweek 1.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I guess just on so Chelsea, Palmer, João Pedro, probably some of the defenders are going to be good throughout the season. Didn't look great today. But on the Fulham side, so Garcia, the new striker, got the start. So that other 4.5 mil, blanking on his name now.
Cusi Frutti.
Ciazare, something like that. Yeah, so he might not be the option that everybody was thinking he'd be based on the
He wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah. So maybe move off of him before a price drop. I don't even know his price on that.
Yep,
But yeah, like you said, Josh King with a goal. And then Oscar Bob, who was the big transfer last year, he was taking corners. So yeah, disappointing out of him last year, but maybe he's more comfortable now. We'll see how his season goes.
More what?
Comfortable.
That's not what I thought you said. Okay. I love the booze that rained down for Enzo when he came on in the 65th. That was nice.
On moves. Enzo, City target.
Robert Sanchez really sucks.
Yeah, he does.
So bad. So yeah, that was game week 1. I mean, looking at our team of the week, I mean, 148 points if you chose everyone. We had the Greek freak Salakis for Hull with a 10-point haul. The 10-point haul for Hull. We had Cuyper with 17 points. Mendy and Ajay for Hull with 15 and 14 points. Michael Coyote with 13 points. Hinchelwood with 16. Mamadou Sangare with 14. You just mentioned Palmer with a 13-point haul. We mentioned Anton Stock, Gakpo at 13 and 12, and João Pedro with 11. Very affordable team. 148 points.
This might be the most ramshackle group of guys that we've seen in a while as team of the week, but good for them. But yeah.
No City, no United, no,
which is crazy. 3 whole defenders.
I love it. I love it. How did you do with points, Jimbo?
So I had a good week. I had 59 points. So I had Kinski in the back. He got me 2. Unfortunate there. I chose him.
Who did you have in the back?
Kinski. No, come on. So should have put Verbruggen in. I'll keep that in mind moving forward. Then I had Vardell.
You wanted Verbruggen in the back?
I have Vardell with 9, Perkash with 0 after the 2 goals, and I think he had a yellow as well. But then Calafiore with 9. So 18 out of my 3 defenders. Pretty good. Then I had Palmer 13, Foden 1, Bruno and Buemo both had 2. And then I had Solis, who got the assist and clean sheet. So he had 6 points out for me. Then up top, I captained Isak, unfortunately. So 4 points there. And then João Pedro with the 11-pointer up top. So, I mean, good week. 59 points, beat the average, pretty high up in the league, even with, 4 points on my keeper on the bench, plus another 7. Maybe could have scored more. Could have been a better captain pick. Went for the differential, which paid off until Isak didn't score. So we try again.
It makes me smile hearing you say went for the differential, because I think I went for the differential a little bit too far. So I only scored 40.
I spouted.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So I scored 40 points. So I did not beat the average. Kinski with 2, Hume with 2, Muramovic with 6, Luke Shaw with a 1-pointer, and Bomo, Gibbs White with 2 apiece, Bruno Fernandes with 4. I gave him the armband. I mentioned Gomez over at Brighton with 6, Holland with 2, Isak with 2, and João Pedro with 11, which really kind of saved my week. Otherwise, you imagine if I had 29 points for the week?
That would be tough.
That would be tough. I mean, like I said, I think about where I could have been. So my draft before this had Calafiore instead of Muramovic, which I think Calafiore had what? I think 9. So maybe 3 more points there. I had Iliman Jai at one point instead of Gibbs White, but I didn't have João Pedro. I had a no name. I always had Isak. So like net, it probably would have been pretty close. I don't think it would have been all that different. So, yeah.
You also lost to Tank.
Yeah. So Tank really gave it to us this week. Well, me at least. So Tank scored 56 points. Now Tank had a pretty template draft this week. So just so everyone knows, we did change up the AI. Grok is going to be managing Tank's team this year. So his draft was Verbruggen with 6 points, Ola Aina with 5 points, Harry Maguire with 1, Calafiore with 9, Pascal Gross with 2, Shabasai with 8, Gomez with 6, Bruno Fernandes with 4, who we gave the armband to, Mboma with 2, Allen with 2, João Pedro with 11, and did not use any chips, but he did have Kinski on the bench with 2, Mascara on the bench with 6. Aesop Diop with 2. And Calvert-Lewin on the bench with 1. Interesting that he didn't want to choose Mascara to start, but that's okay. I'm not upset about that. Honestly, I can understand why the AI chose to start who they started.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes this year. I feel like even last year they started out okay, but then they couldn't understand banking, transfers, and chips. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, you got to just look at the score and sometimes you got to just write it down on like a piece of paper, Jimbo.
It's true. And actually, this episode is brought to you by the Michael Scott Paper Company. At the Michael Scott Paper Company, we believe you shouldn't have to pay more for your paper just because a giant corporation has a fancy logo, a large warehouse, and a functioning accounting department. That's why we offer high-quality paper at prices that are, frankly, unbelievable. How unbelievable? Let's just say our pricing department has been described as reckless, unsustainable, and by one former employee, a cry for help. But that's what happens when you put your customer first. We offer copy paper, printer paper, specialty paper, and whatever that really expensive paper is that your boss insists you need for an important presentation. And with the Michael Scott Paper Company, you're not just buying paper. You're becoming part of something bigger. A small business, a dream. A company that once existed entirely because one man looked at a successful corporation and thought, I could probably do that. We're tired of faceless corporations and ready to support a company with passion, determination, and an absolutely no clear path to profitability. Choose the Michael Scott Paper Company. Michael Scott Paper Company. We don't just sell paper. We sell possibility. And paper. Mostly paper. Back to the pod.
All right. So just taking a quick look at our Tinker Time Pod table. So we've got 15 folks, 15 teams back in the table, back in the league this time around. I'm really excited to get this back up and running. Congrats to Henry Paradise, who sits atop the table after week 1. 84 points. Phenomenal haul.
That's a great return. He
Great
did bench
return.
boost.
Yeah. Really strong team here.
On that with Odegaard.
Had Sangare. Gave John Pedro the armband too. That was nice.
Yeah. Looking back, that's like such a clear, good move that, oh well.
All right. So just as far as, we had our recap. The deadline's going to be coming quick. So next deadline is going to be Friday, 1:30 Eastern. So we've got Palace hosting City. We haven't locked in any transfers yet. Obviously, we're not going to talk about that. The AI team hasn't done anything yet. As far as, movers and folks that are moving already, like I said, Cuyper has been moving in. Sangari's been moving in. Calafiori, Michael Coyote, Odegaard. These are folks that have already been moving in the hundreds of thousands. It's just pretty crazy. And folks that are moving out, Pedro Porro, Esri Konza, like you mentioned, Gyökeres. Folks are moving on from Bruno Fernandes, Ollie Watkins, again, in the hundreds of thousands. Pedro Porro didn't play because his team won the World Cup and he just needed a little bit more time, which is absolutely crazy. Jim, at least I know we're not talking preview, but anything from this list, just that you're dying to just react to.
Bruno getting sold. I think that's overreaction. I have to assume people are trying to bring in Arsenal midfielders. If they're shipping out Konsa and Gyökeres, they're maybe trying to make room for another Arsenal attacker. And Bruno's the easy way to get there. Or maybe Bruno down to Palmer. But I think it's way too early to be selling him without seeing how everybody's team's going to lock in once we get through the transfer window. But
yeah, that's I'm with you. I don't really understand how, coming off of such a bad week with the fixture they have upcoming, how you could be selling so low. If anything, you buy low. That's just, I don't know. I'm not
economics.
But it's just economics. But Jim, this was fun. Hey, we're right back into it. It feels like just yesterday we were talking Game Week 38 recap. Now we're back at Game Week 1.
Feels good.
feels really good. So we will be back though for our game week 2 preview in a few days. But in the meantime, go check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We now have our videos on Spotify. You can check us out on video on Spotify or YouTube. Our
Forgot about that.
mini league.
I don't think the
Yeah,
YouTube
I know.
video was working. So maybe we'll work on that for this week.
Okay, I'll have to take a look at that. The Apple videos, that's not a glitch. It's not working because it's designed like that to not work. Unless somebody wants to throw us a bone and then we can pay for it. But yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
we're good.
we're good. But no, in all seriousness, check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Drop us a comment. Let us know what was your biggest surprise from game week 1. What are you thinking about doing as far as your transfers for the upcoming week? It's not too late to join our mini league. Actually, it's really not too late. We'll drop the code to our mini league in the description as always. And thank you for joining us on Tinker Time. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop your comments in the comments. See you next game week.
Wait, can people give their comments if they want them?
They can give their comments.
All right.
See ya. Happy tinkering.
Draft dreams rise like morning sun, chasing points, the game's begun. Big decisions week by week, fantasy glory's what we seek. Pick your squad, the clock won't wait. Captain choice will seal your fate. 2 enthusiasts breaking it down. Fantasy kings, we're taking the crown.